When I was a kid, I had a recurring experience that I always brushed off as a vivid imagination, until something happened years later that made me question everything. There were several occasions where I'd be wandering around the house and I'd see someone you'd normally expect to see, like a postman, a utility worker, or just a random adult figure. But then, out of nowhere, they would morph into this tall, dark, gloomy-looking man with no face and a top hat. Every time he would grab me and strangle me until I almost blacked out. One time I tried calling out for my granddad to help, and I heard the man say, "He's not here to help you." As I got older, I chalked it up to childhood nightmares or sleep paralysis or something, until I was in about grade 10 and had a friend over for a sleepover. In the middle of the night, she got up to use the toilet. When she came back, her face was white as snow. She told me there was a man standing in my lounge room, and the way she described him matched exactly. Tall, no face, top hat, gloomy presence. I had never told anyone about what I experienced before that. It's been years since anything like that has happened, but I've never been able to explain it. Has anyone else experienced something similar? Or have any ideas what this could have been?
I'm schizophrenic and can see the shadow people in the shut-off TV reflection. When they walk past it, I see their true forms and in color. It's called scrying. Look it up. I didn't even know this was a thing before I heard of it. Well, they appear as men in masks, sometimes animated like living monster masks, and they all carry swords and knives. They wear a different type of clothing, but it looks relatively modern. They look at me, nod, and keep walking by. But while they are doing that, I see the shadow person that they are in front of the TV doing the same nod. These shadow people aren't what we think they are. I'm pretty sure they're all demons.
Not my story, but there's this tiny 100+ YO cemetery right on a super heavily trafficked street that has always given me bad vibes. I went in once, and none of the headstones are more recent than the 1920s. Anyways, my co-worker went there to try to talk to a ghost, all nonchalantly, and he swears up and down that he brought something home. He always felt like he was being watched. He got sicker than he'd ever been in his life, and he kept seeing shadows that were driving him crazy. Apparently he and his mother had a night-long prayer session, and it seemed to work. No issues thereafter. His personality is such that I trust him.
That happened to a friend of mine who was a nurse in a nursing home. He would walk the halls late at night and hear footsteps from the floor above him on many occasions, until he realized the floor above him was the roof, and the door to that location was locked unless someone was doing maintenance, and nobody was doing maintenance at 2 a.m. Other nurses from other shifts said that they thought the place was haunted. Another interesting thing that happened was they had walkie-talkies that received pages from specific rooms from patients who needed help. They received repeated pages from a room where the patient had died the week before, and the room was empty. My friend said something sarcastic like, "Okay, George, we know you've passed on. You can go now," or something like that, and the pages stopped.
I was 12. We were living next to 2 graveyards. Yes, that always freaked me out. One night, I heard a ball bouncing down the stairs to the basement. This was impossible, seeing we had no ball of any kind in the house. It was all in the storage shed in the back. I woke my dad to take a look, and magically the basketball had made its way into the house. The next thing I remember is hearing water running. I went in search of it, and somehow the basement bathroom faucet got turned on. I turned it off and ran straight to my room and closed and locked the door. The very last event was one night. My mom and I both woke up to hearing a toddler crying. Seeing I was the youngest and I wasn't crying, this was strange. My dad wakes up and the 3 of us follow the crying. We realized it was coming from the attic. My dad pulls down the ladder and walks up to check. As soon as he turned the bulb on, the crying ceased. I swear to this day that house was haunted.
I have so many, but this one freaks me out to this day. I was walking home alone from work at around 12 a.m. and wanted to get home as soon as possible because I was tired af. The closest route was through the park, so I went for it. As I was coming to the end of the park, I saw something hunched over near a park bench. At first, didn't understand what I was seeing and thought to myself that my mind is playing tricks on me. As I closed and reopened my eyes, I saw a lady 80 years old or so, in a long white dress, gray hair, and simply standing there. As soon as I realized what I saw, my body froze and became overwhelmed with feelings of dread, despair, anger, and everything negative. It was like this energy flowing from my head to toes, and I couldn't stop it. After a couple of seconds, it stopped. The lady was gone, and I was so freaked out, because I know whatever I saw was not positive, and I have a feeling like I wasn't supposed to see it. I will never forget that feeling of utter despair and just standing there, helpless.